Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. Thank you for joining us on episode 207 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom. I'm here with Trevor and Damon. How's it going?
I have to get it all in the beginning because
you have to just get this out there now.
I'm just so exhausted today. So there was swim regionals happened.
Okay.
And my dog, she was barking at 4 a.m. because sometimes that happens. And normally I'll just be like, whatever, I don't care. But I felt like because my son was swimming, he had to leave at 6. I had to get up. So I got up at 4. And then I'm like, well, we got to start making him breakfast. And he's driving somebody. Got to make them breakfast. You got to get his snack bag ready. Got to get his water. I had so much to do this morning from 4 to 6. I'm just absolutely spent. And I didn't do anything today. I was trying to tell my wife, I was like, I feel like if I can just vacuum the game room and the loft today, that will be a win. And I couldn't even accomplish that. I just couldn't even do it, man.
I thought you were just about to go on a rant about the hats, but
no. I'm saving that for next week, man.
Yeah,
stay tuned next week.
But it was, it was just such an exhausting day. So I'm barely here. But the one thing I did want to kind of mention from last episode that I kind of forgot about is one of the main things about putting all your pictures somewhere is the ability to kind of have a screensaver with them. So, I mean, I'm kind of in this weird, Fire Cube situation, right? Because I'm a big Fire Cube fan these days because just the ability to, plug in an Ethernet is the total win for me. So we switched over to Fire Cubes for most of them and then Fire Sticks for other things. But I will say that from a Disney standpoint, I'm not a big print out your Disney pictures, right? And even if you do, there's I feel it's kind of if your kid's 19 and you have a, picture of them in Disney at 2, that's cool, but it makes things seem a little dated. I don't know. That's just me, right?
I can see that, yeah.
I like the ability to randomly see them, on your screensaver. I think that's one of the big things about having everything up there because you can, again, have 90,000 pictures, maybe even 400,000 and something at this point. I don't even remember. But the randomization of 400,000 pictures is such a win. It really is, especially when Disney pictures pop up and you're like, oh yeah, remember that trip? And oh yeah, remember that. It's just kind of a nice thing. So I think that's one of the things in the ecosystem that you can't, negate because it definitely plays a big difference for me in having my pictures, somewhere stuck versus seeing them on Amazon Photos or, Google as well.
Well, which is actually why I keep all my photos in Google Photos because I have Google Home Hubs, which are the smart things with the screens, and so I just have a rotating it just I selected whatever albums, and it just has a rotating thing of all my pictures on, and I have 3 of them. I have 3 of them throughout the house, so they it's just a rotating slideshow of pictures all the time. So I do it. I do the same thing. I just do it with Google stuff. So
I think that's definitely a big win, and then. For all the swimming people, so again, we're at North Carolina swimming for regionals, not even at states yet. Swimming here in this state is kind of like football is in Texas in terms of just quality of athletes in a sport. For all the swim people, it literally was taking futures cuts in the regions to even make states this year, which is unreal. So it was a very interesting meet, but it was a good meet. And
I saw somebody post in the group that they were at a meet in Charlotte, which
So that is so for swimming you have your conferences and then regionals, which just splits the state up into 3 parts. Right, they were in Greensboro, they were in Charlotte, and they were in Cary. So East, Central, West, and those are broken down by the size of schools. Right, so there's no 6A here like there is in Texas because the schools aren't that big. But our highest is 4A. So yes, those meets were all going on this morning, very early, very early. So yeah. Well, that's interesting. So who somebody in the group was at the Charlotte meet?
Yeah, somebody posted in the group. I don't know. randomly saw it. I don't know who it was though, but they.
Oh, I'll have to go look because, interestingly enough, if their kid made states, then that would be I'd be able to see them, which I think is next Friday.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Well, now that I have the hats, you need to make a trip down to Charlotte. I know.
Oh,
I'm going to send them to you.
But they spelled my name wrong. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I did see that. Are you offended by this, or are you bothered by it? I'm
a teeny bit offended, but I'm going to reply to the post now.
What was that one review that they said your name wrong and we were joking about it for a while? Ramen, that's right.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. Oh man. Okay. Well. Oh, good. I was just looking at reviews too. So all right. Well, and so by the way, everybody, we are going to have hopefully we're going to have Derek from DVC Resale Market on next week. On next week's show. I don't, that's not confirmed yet, but sometime in the next few weeks here, we are going to have Derek on, and we are going to, of course, roast him for the hat situation. Well, at least Damon is going to. So, but Damon's on mute right now. I thought Damon would say something, but
no, Damon's replying to this post now, so I can't.
All right. Well, then why don't we start going with listener questions while Damon replies?
Well, Damon replies to the post,
and then we can come back to the hat drama.
The hat drama, yes, of course. So do you want to read this one, Trevor?
Sure. So Susie says, we arrived the 2nd of April at Bay Lake Tower for a week. From Britain, second week is SSR, Saratoga Springs Resort. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I know you want to say Sarasota. I know it's hard.
Yeah.
Saratoga.
If it was you, when would you book your Magic Kingdom days for? Bearing in mind the TRON opens the 4th of April and Happily Ever After returns on the 3rd. Would you attempt
either one of those days?
Yeah. Would you attempt to get in for TRON or put it off another day? Obviously, we booked Bay Lake Tower to do Magic Kingdom in our first week and can't really change that. What strategy would you suggest? Okay, so speaking specifically about those two things, Happily Ever After and TRON, I would not be planning to be in Magic Kingdom for either of those days because they will be overly packed with people trying to.
It's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, it'll be people trying to get first on the ride, and it'll be full of people recording stuff. Right, it'll.
That's true too. Vloggers are going to be everywhere.
Yeah, and vloggers most of the time are very respectful, but for these events, it seems like there is an excessive amount, and not all of them are necessarily the nicest people. I've definitely seen some vloggers that can get rude in certain situations.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, bearing that in mind, I personally would avoid. Just because it is exceptionally busy those days, I would not do my Magic Kingdom days for the 3rd or the 4th. I would actually go to EPCOT for those 2 days because, if you're still staying at Bay Lake Tower, you can get on the, get on the monorail, go over there. It's still easy, quick access. Then I would wait I wouldn't even go. I would say, if you're planning to see Happily Ever After on the 4th, maybe, but TRON is still opening on the 4th, so Magic Kingdom as a whole is going to be crazy anyway. So I wouldn't do anything till the 5th.
If you want to see both of those things, right? If you want to do both of those things, then do it after those 2 days. Mm-hmm. It's still going to be crazy on the 5th, right? Or any other day that week, but not going to be as crazy as on the day, right?
You get all the press and media people out of the way, right? That's kind of to me that's the.
They might have a press preview though. They might have a press day that's before
they will.
They're not gonna. It's not gonna be the opening day that press is there, but you'll get a lot of the smaller non-press bloggers. Yeah. So you're gonna have them, just not the big people. But from a vlogger standpoint, a person is a person is a person. A person with a camera, right? Because it's not like vloggers are coming in with a team.
No.
So it's going to be the same thing. It doesn't matter how many subscribers they have. It's still a person filming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
But
I'm just, go ahead.
I'm just thinking more about some of those people, to be fair, a lot of people are oblivious to their surroundings, but it seems like when people are recording, they're they're talking to the camera and you don't want to be stuck behind that person. You don't want to be trying to Like when there's
I just really don't want to be on film with some vlogger with, 10 subscribers, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You just don't want to be randomly in the background of somebody's.
Not particularly, no.
Yeah, I mean, if that's that's a fair reason not to as well. So yeah, to me, there's a lot of reasons to just avoid those 2 days. Like I would never go for opening days just for those reasons. And yeah, I would be planning to be in Magic Kingdom on the 5th.
But I will tell you, there is something a little magical about being there on the first day also. Mm-hmm. It just hits a little different because it's the first day. I mean, there's just this feeling. So you have to weigh that out, sort of person that you are. But it is kind of cool. Like I said, I've been to both Harry Potter openings on opening weekend. So pretty much opening day. And it's kind of neat, right? Like it's a little different. It just got a little different feel for it.
Right.
That's all.
It's interesting, like in the old days, like pre-virtual queue, it almost might have been a good day to go on the opening of Tron if you don't want to go on Tron, right? Like, because everyone would be waiting online for Tron. You could go do everything else in the park.
Absolutely. True. I felt like there was a lot of that for Avatar, right? Yeah. Like when Avatar first opened, you could definitely hit that park and hit everything else. I mean, gosh, we rode Everest so many times in a row that like literally was sick. I think 12 times I think we did 12 in a row or something. Yeah. Because it was literally walk on because everyone was staying line. That was when like they were doing those like 7-8 hour flight of passage lines.
The crazy lineups all the way back to the entrance.
Yep.
Yeah. And so like with the virtual queue now though, like people will be able to filter out through the rest of the park while they wait for so it like, it's
a little bit of a downside. Like I get why they do the virtual queue. But there's definitely a downside, I feel like, for it as well.
I feel you could still reasonably do like the other side of the park. I feel like Tomorrowland, because of the virtual queue, people kind of hang around or they gravitate towards that area as their queue is going to come up. I feel like you could, you could like Fantasyland and over into Frontier and Adventureland. I feel you could.
I mean, and it's not like there's not a line.
Yeah.
It's just you're queuing up for a line, but it's still eating up people. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not like you're walking right on it.
True.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
That would be nice if that was if they had it so down pat that like, hey, come on over. You're going to walk right on. Like that would be the best.
Oh, wow.
That's what they need to do is they need to start tracking everyone by their phone, right? And they know where you are and then they can tell you when it's time to get on and then track you up into it. Depending on how long you get there, and that would be some nice stuff.
She should definitely do though. I'm just thinking about this happily ever after thing. Like, happily ever after won't be a problem for you if you don't mind showing up a little bit early because you don't have to worry about the buses on the way back. You're just walking back, right? So, like, the argument against going to happily ever after one of those nights would be that it's going to be a nightmare travel, back to your hotel. But for you staying at Bay Lake, it's just a walk. Yeah.
To that point, I still wouldn't do it on the 3rd. I would plan maybe to
not on the 3rd, maybe the 4th.
Like, like head in on the 4th, like make it, if you have a park hopper, go in the evening on the 4th. And then, like you said, that's exactly it. Show up, do that. And then you can just walk right back to the hotel and not worry about it.
That is the benefit of being that close or like being at any of the ones that you can walk where you don't have to worry about the transportation after the fireworks.
Yeah, that transportation after is just brutal.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
My parents are go ahead. I was going to say my parents are flip-flopping between where they want to go. So they're going to Disney this summer. I'm trying to in September. So I'm trying to talk them into a no park sort of situation, but I think they have a little FOMO. So like I think they'll end up going to the park. But I said, well, you were just there, but okay, whatever. But they're got this debate going on, the same sort of situation, right? Like they were like, well, where do we stay? Now they're currently booked at Riviera. So I said, well, why would you you have good transportation from Riviera.
Yeah.
Like you have the Skyliner. Yeah. Like why go somewhere else?
Yeah. That's that's 2 parks. There are very few hotels that have easy connections to 2 parks like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so their big thing. So they stayed at Boardwalk last time and they liked the boat, but I'm like, the Skyliner is just as good, if not better.
Faster, I would say.
Yeah, faster. And the other thing is, why not stay at Riviera if you own there? Like, I'm this, like, I want to stay at Riviera just because we own there. Like, I'm kind of like, since we're staying at the tree houses, I'm like, I'm kind of annoyed a little bit because I just want to stay at Riviera just because we own there, not for anything else. But they're trying to go to Beach Club. And I was like, why? Like, why beach club? Like, for a pool that you're not going to use? Like, gosh, it would be funny if I saw my parents, like, riding down the water slide. But, like, why? Like, what's the benefit of beach club? Like, I don't understand why everyone is so souped about beach club if the water slide is not your thing.
I thought there was
what's the other benefit of beach club
as well?
Yeah, there's
but my parents are not lazy rivering either. So
see, I would go.
I mean, the two big draws for beach club is the walk into Epcot and the pool, right? Like those are the two big.
But I mean, your Skyliner, like
Skyliner too. Yeah,
I mean, Tom and I saw it. Like for Riviera, it has amazing access to parks.
Yeah,
I would stay there.
Yeah, Riviera is your kind of resort too, Damon. It is very nice. Yeah, it's really very nice.
But I'm like that dude that likes very nice, but like then I haven't gotten out of my pajamas in a week. You know what I mean? Like I went out to go get pizza, and I was like, I literally had slippers on, and I'm like, wow, I'm not changing my slippers. Like I'm just gonna go out and get pizza with slippers on. Like I just don't care.
You're comfortable.
It's lazy. I don't even know if it's comfortable. It's lazy.
No, you're comfortable.
Weird.
It's not lazy. You're
sort of
being comfortable.
There's this weird sort of like I love that sort of stuff, but then again, like on the other end of it, like I'd be at Riviera wearing like sweats and slippers, like walking through the lobby, and I just don't know like how that vibe is.
Damon, what you got to do, what I do in the wintertime is I wear moccasins that have like an actual sole on them. And
that's what I was wearing.
Yeah, that's what I wear. Yeah, because they're like slippers, but they're like acceptable kind of to wear outside.
Yeah, I don't know if they're acceptable to wear outside, but yes, that's what I was wearing.
I
just like everywhere. I think to myself like I've gone out in my pajamas before. I went to Wegmans, and I was just like, dude, I'm literally running out to Wegmans like to pick up 3 things. I'm just rocking pajamas. My wife is like, you went out like that? I was like, yeah, what do I care for? It's Wegmans, man.
Who cares? Yeah.
But I did feel a little underdressed at Wegmans because like Wegmans is a little foofy.
Yeah, it's a little. It's a little. Yeah, Trevor. It's like a little. It's a much nicer grocery store. It's. Okay. I don't know what to compare it to because it's not like Whole Foods, but it's like.
No. It's in between that though.
It's an in between. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an upscale grocery store.
Yeah. Okay. I think we have places like that here. There's various chains that are nicer than your standard grocery store.
Yeah, it's very small. It's like really like what East Coast only, basically, and we don't even have it in Charlotte.
Yeah, I mean, so we got one recently, which was kind of weird because we always used to go to the one when we were in New Jersey in Bridgewater.
New Jersey, yeah,
yeah, and then we used to drive like 45 minutes for it, and then they put one in our town after we left, and then all my New Jersey friends were like, "Well, you don't have a Wegmans." I was like, "Dude, we got every store you got up there, but you don't have a Wegmans." And then finally, I was like, "Now we do."
We're supposed to be getting Wawas down here too at some time soon.
Listen, that's you non-real Jersey people in the South. We don't care about Wawas in the North, really.
What are you talking about? Everyone cares about Wawa in New Jersey.
I don't care about Wawas.
What? It's a crazy town. Get me I need a gas station where I can get a good hoagie. That's what I need around here. So.
No, like I don't need gas and deli meats mixing it all. Thank you very much.
The same place.
Nah, just like we have Sheetz down here, and I have to say, like I'll get dessert stuff at Sheetz, but I'm not really getting real food, man.
No, you don't.
I mean, we were 7-Eleven was our big thing. A Quick Check, right? Like those were Northern New Jersey thing.
Yeah.
Not really Wawa. It wasn't in our area back then.
Yeah, no, it's all about Wawa for me. So, sorry, Trevor. I know we're talking about all sorts of weird regional stuff, and probably like half the audience has no idea what we're talking about.
But you don't buy food at the gas station unless you're desperate.
No, it's not. But Wawa and Sheetz are different, though. Like,
yeah, they kind of are.
Okay.
They're not like they're gas stations, but they're not like they have like a full on.
They're bougie almost like gas stations.
I mean, not
they
really.
Are, I hate to say.
I
don't know about Wawa. I think Sheetz definitely is a little bougie, though.
You don't think Wawa is? I mean, the newer Wawas are really nice, man. Like, I don't know. I mean, I've had experience with both, but because we don't even have Sheetz down here either. We just have like a 7-Eleven, But
you don't have Sheetz in Charlotte?
No, we don't.
That's
they
crazy.
Stop like an hour outside of the city for some reason.
Okay.
But Wawa's coming here, so
okay.
Anyway.
Maybe this answered Katie's question. I don't know.
Yeah, what am I looking forward to most this year? Wawa.
I think that I'm looking forward to. I think I've finally gotten buy-in from everyone to go back to Silver Dollar City.
Okay.
And their only stipulation that they said was if we drive, that we have to stop somewhere. So, okay, that's fine. I'll stop at Dollywood. So I think we're going to do Dollywood, Silver Dollar City. And I almost think you have to stop on the way back because it's still 17 hours is brutal. So I think maybe we'll stop at Dollywood on the way back.
Okay. Yeah, that's far, man.
Yeah, I wish there was something else I wanted to do in between Silver Dollar City and, North Carolina, but I just don't know what else there would be. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have like a vacation schedule this year. I think I talked to you guys about it. I'm going to be in New Jersey like 3 different times though this year because I have 2 weddings and a bachelor party for one of the weddings, and so I'm going to be in New Jersey.
Just such a waste, man.
What?
Weddings are just such a waste.
Well, the best part, one of the weddings is for like people that have been basically married for a couple of years, but they didn't actually do a wedding because of the pandemic.
They shouldn't get a wedding. Yeah. It's over with, man.
Listen,
move on.
If it wasn't family, I wouldn't be. But and then my sister's getting married, so I have to go to my sister's wedding. So, but anyway, so I don't have a vacation plan because we've got such a busy summer with all that stuff. It's just I don't know what we're gonna do this year. So, but I don't know what I'm looking forward to the most this year. Honestly, I mean, hopefully we can come together with a vacation at some point. I don't know. What about you, Trevor?
So, vacation wise, we're not kind of like you. We don't have any like huge plans. We've got we're going out to Banff, like into the mountains, which is always nice, but that's just kind of a regular thing. Things that I'm actually looking forward to is to keep it in the Disney/theme park vein is I'm looking forward to Tron opening and seeing how that plays out. Like not. I'm not going to be like, getting all into like, what is the ride like? It's like, I know that. I'm curious how Disney's going to handle it. And I'm curious how things are going to play out over the following months. In the same vein, I'm also looking at the Super Nintendo World in California opening up here. And again, like I'm looking forward to how these new things post-pandemic are going to play out, because it's going to actually help me with my plans going into next year and the future. So those are the things that I'm most looking forward to this year. And it's not because I'm like excited. It's more out of curiosity.
Just to see how things go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, listen, I would love to go to back to Disney this year. And, cause with Happily Ever After coming back, the train's back, with Tron coming out, later this year, the Moana stuff at Epcot and like that whole middle of Epcot, like I'm excited.
That's the only thing I'm excited about. Yeah. Like I said, Moana over Tron all day, man.
Well, just Epcot being done, right? I think that's going to be awesome.
Is Epcot ever really done? It's like Route 95. Like, is it really ever done?
It's always a mess. Yeah.
I just want to walk through the center of the behind Spaceship Earth again. That's all I care about.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, listen, I'm with you, Damon. It sounds like you're like rummaging through like.
I am. I am. I just got a new mini SD card so I can record this episode tomorrow. So I was just taken out of the packaging. Sorry, man.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, anyway, so Misty asks, which 2 rides or attractions would you bring back and keep forever? This is a good Damon question.
2 rides. But we answered this like 8 bazillion million trillion times.
Have we? Yeah.
But that being said, because Misty asked in a very nice way.
That's true.
I would say 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Yes. Yep.
And Ellen. Like, I just don't think there's any other answers for me.
I kind of agree with you on this. I don't know what else I would choose. I mean, you could go like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, I guess, but
you can go to,
which I do like.
Yeah,
California.
The original, like it depends. Original Snow White.
You have California.
Alien Encounter.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that I flip flop on. Is like, do I want Alien Encounter back, or do I want 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea or Ellen? And Ellen would have to be in there, number one, but it's this flip flop between 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea versus Alien Encounter. The problem that I have is that, am I getting 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea like it was, or are they cleaning it up? Like, which version am I getting? The day one open version, or the right before it closed version? Not that there's anything different about them; it's just the upkeep of them.
What about a Great Movie Ride?
No.
No nostalgia for that one?
No, dude, not like Alien Encounter or 20,000 Leagues, because my kids rode that. Like, my kids never got to ride 20,000, right? So, like,
that's true. Yeah.
That would be kind of cool. And Alien is just like, I don't know. There's always so much crying. Did you really enjoy it the first time? I mean, I think it's almost a ride you have to re-enjoy as an adult.
What about original Figment?
No, I could care less. I love Figment, but that ride is nothing.
I got the left field one for you, because we're saying attractions. Okay, so
Body Wars.
No, actually, I'm counting this as an attraction. The Adventurers Club in what was it called? Pleasure Island. So what is now the Edison should be put back to the Adventure Club and left that way.
Okay,
because that was an attraction.
For some reason, I thought you were going Disney Quest there, but
I mean, Disney Quest is not a bad one. But again, like, what are we talking about? Disney Quest now? Or that one would have to be an adjusted Disney Quest.
Disney Quest needs a huge revamp. I feel the Adventure Club, because it's set in that, like, Adventureland, like, stuck in a particular time period kind of thing. It doesn't need a ton of, like, it could just be the way that it is for a very long time.
And it's so funny because we could answer this question all the time and it still brings up discussion. So I can't even, like, fault the ask, because, like, it always brings discussion.
It does.
And I probably answer it different ways each time. So, like, I can't even.
Yeah, because, I mean, you could go Horizons here. You could go... why am I blanking on the name of the ride that was in the building in Test Track before Test Track?
Depends on your mood.
World of Motion.
Yeah.
I mean... Yeah. You could go Body Wars. Body Wars is one I remembered from being a kid.
You guys don't even have Disneyland references. Like, I miss the People Mover in Disneyland. Like that. Yeah, that should have been brought back. Journey into Inner Space, which is now Star Tours. You know, yeah.
There's a lot, man. There's a lot. Yeah. I mean, listen. If you really if you think hard about it, like, most of the stuff in Magic Kingdom is pretty much still intact, right? Like, they really haven't changed that much. Really, they've just added stuff. But I mean, 20,000 Leagues being a big exception, right? Because that was a huge ride, and I mean, physically, and, you know, a huge ride, but also just it was a big nostalgia one. And I'm with you, Damon. I loved that ride when I was a kid. It was like my favorite thing. So yeah, I mean, I think I would go with that one. And I don't know, man. I really like the Great Movie Ride. That's one that has a lot of nostalgia for me. I don't know why.
Yeah, and I think Ellen has that nostalgia for me, so I get it.
Well, no, Universe of Energy does too, Damon. Like, one of my, like, earliest memories of Disney was going on that ride. Like, I remember Universe of Energy from when I was, like, you know, 5 years old. You know,
but like, man, there is just something about Alien Encounter, though.
Man. Yeah.
There's just something.
Here's a question: does the original version of Test Track count? Right. So, like, if you could go back to the original Test Track instead of the current iteration.
And why is the new Test Track so bad?
Yeah,
in comparison, because it really is. It is. Like,
it lacks any kind of character. Is the problem?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
I still believe that they were going to make that into the Tron ride. Like, I still think that they were going to eventually turn it into Tron.
Very Tron-ish.
It is. It's trying. It fails, and it just
First one was so much better,
and because the pre-show lined it up so well too, like the you know, just pick one, and it's like, and then you see the crash test, and everyone kind of laughs, and then when you get to the room with the crash test, you have that, like, the first time people ride, they have that split second of wait, like this is happening kind of thing. Like, it was so good. It was. You're right. Yeah. It was way better at the way that they started it instead of what it is.
And I almost feel like it was one of those rides that they redid. And listen, I understand it wasn't cheap, but it felt like it was cheaply redone.
Mm-hmm. I could see that. Yeah, that'd be cool if they, like. Can you imagine if they ever just decided to, like, go back to some of that stuff? They'd be like, we screwed up on Test Track. We're gonna go back to the original version. Yeah. Like,
would never happen.
Sorry,
no, it never happened.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, you know, just the original version almost felt cheaper than the new one, because it was like a lot of it was just like sets, and, you know, like this one, like. You know what I mean? But it probably, I mean, I don't know if it really was or not, but yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we got here. No, I think that covers most of it, right? Yeah, I'm sure there's one we're forgetting, and someone's yelling in their car right now.
Well, then, I mean, you know, we'll have to hear it in the comments, and, you know, there's things to think about the next time.
All right.
All right.
Who wants to read Chris's question?
So Chris says, what is your best Disney vacation decision, and what is the one you regret the most?
I mean, this is easy for me.
Okay.
Right. So I think there's a very generic buying DVC sooner. Right. But I'm going to take that one off the table. Yep. Right.
Wait, so none of us are allowed to use that?
For myself. You can say whatever you want. Right. So best Disney vacation decision. Okay. So what I'm going to say is getting PhotoPass every time we went when the kids were younger, probably the best decision. And it doesn't necessarily line up now with the way cell phones go. Okay. So take it back a little bit. And how remiss I would be if I didn't have all those pictures from every time we went. And we did it every time that we went to Disney. So I say that was probably the best decision because you can't go back, right? I can always buy DVC. It may cost me more, but I can't go back and get pictures I didn't get. So that would probably be it. And the one that I regret the most, I mean, what Disney vacation decision do I really regret? Maybe staying for Fantasmic and that bus ride home is just the worst, right? Being extremely tired and then the bus breaking down. Oh man, staying for anything late at night is just regrets that I have because something always happens and it's a disaster and I'm tired. But other than that, I don't think I have really true regrets.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I have a true regret that I can do. At first I was going to say on a couple trips ago when I went on Big Thunder Mountain while it was pouring rain, but that was also kind of a lot of fun, even though we got totally soaked and it kind of hurt, because it was pouring.
Good experience still.
It was. In a way, it was kind of fun though too. Can I say getting COVID at Disney? No, because that did happen.
It's true.
I mean, honestly, I think my best decision was this last trip that we did where we stayed for 10 days and we almost had a hurricane ruin the whole thing, but we didn't. And then, and doing the whole thing with multiple families and doing a two bedroom and that whole trip was so great for my daughter and for us. But I mean, I want to say buying DVC. That's I feel like the easiest answer, right?
But it's an easy answer, yeah.
It is, yeah.
Because I mean, we looked at DVC before and we could have bought earlier, but I mean, again, is that a regret? I mean,
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I don't think I can attach things as regrets that are attached to just a financial sort of situation, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I get what you're saying.
Okay, so. I
Trevor
feel
booking during a hurricane twice. I mean, no, go ahead.
Well, I mean,
not his fault.
Those were things that were out of my control, so I don't count those.
Absolutely.
So, but you're right. You can buy DVC at any time. I would argue that, my best decision was when we finally did decide to pull the trigger on DVC. We chose to go with the poly, and that we got our. And that, so kind of back to your point, Damon, about those experiences with your kids, the fact that we've been able to stay at the poly and just the timing of all that was the best decision we made. But you're right. We could have bought DVC anywhere and it would have been good, but having those trips where we got to, see the fireworks from our room and stuff like that, to me, that's just as valuable as those pictures that you're talking about. So it's not just buying DVC, but the timing of buying DVC is probably my best decision. Yeah. The worst one for me is actually very easy. It was a trip in 2014 that we panicked, and because we had a booking at the Grand Californian, we paid cash for it, and we thought we were going to cancel the trip, and it was kind of sketchy because our jobs were up in the air at the moment. And instead of us just leaving the booking the way that it was, we canceled it. And then we tried to rebook, and rebooking it meant we couldn't get Grand California anymore. And we had to stay at Paradise Pier, which was the worst experience we've ever had at a Disney hotel. So that was a direct result of, our own decisions. And that was my biggest regret for a Disney vacation.
I'm gonna go back because I remembered a good one. And first of all, I wanted to thank Chris for all of the vacation updates, the daily vacation updates, and
they were good. They were good.
Mm-hmm. They were funny, and they were great. And Chris also called farts Festival of Arts farts, which is what I call it. So, so that makes me happy too. But I want to go back and say my best decision was doing that one night at the cabin at Wilderness Lodge. Man, that was a great night. Mm-hmm. That cabin was awesome, and it was the fanciest experience we ever had at Disney for sure. It was. Yeah, I guess decision.
If we're going to start going that route, I would say regret-wise, dude, staying at the Caribbean or Pop. Both of those are just not at the same level. I again think the thing that kind of made it for me for DVC is that I realized that like that middle area is kind of worthless, right? Yeah, either go low or high. The middle one is just not it.
Yeah, the moderate resorts are just kind of like, yeah, it's just like what are you doing with those, right? Like, because I don't know. I've never stayed at a moderate actually. I only ever stayed at values and deluxes. I've never stayed at a moderate. Oddly enough, but anyway.
Well, I'm looking down this list here because I can't do anymore.
I know we're going to lose you.
You're going to lose me. So let's. I'm looking down this
at night. Instead of our usual midday. So. And
yeah, I've been up for way too many hours. TRON Lightcycle canopy.
Why do you think I put it far down, man?
No. Like I mean, it looked kind of cool.
It did, breathtaking.
Right? Okay. Yeah, it looked kind of cool. Like I said, I don't like seeing the other stuff in the background. You guys can talk more about that. Mm-hmm. There's Valentine's Day delights.
There's Valentine's Day food. Yeah.
That's like kind of my jam. Like I feel like.
Oh, so we need to do that now? Is what you're saying?
No, I mean I'm just kind of meandering through. To be honest with you, I mean it looks pretty good. Yeah. Hercules Musical. Like you guys are getting all a preview for what's coming.
That's what's coming to the Hyperion. Okay, cool. I was wondering when they were going to put something.
Well, it's a rumor. It's a rumor. Let's qualify.
Okay, fair. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's it for me. Like I felt like I saw like pretty big news, but then I couldn't remember what it was.
Couldn't remember what it was. I don't
know. It's very frustrating.
I don't know. Did you see the thing about the guy that's the DVC member that like pushed a cast member, but then they couldn't like trespass him because he owned at the resort, and there was some sort of rule about that, apparently.
No, I didn't see that.
Did you guys see this?
No. What? This is like stuff that I don't even want to talk about because it's so ridiculous. But yeah.
I know. I saw it and I was like, so this guy like pushed a cast member, and then they were like, Disney was like, well, we didn't trespass him because he owns at the resort. And I don't know if there's some sort of thing where it's like, well, it's technically. I mean, is it technically your property? Like, you own a piece of that property. I don't know.
It doesn't matter. You still can't push.
You can't push people. I know.
I'm not even getting into that. I'm looking at this Tiana Bayou adventure thing. I hope. The only thing I will say is that I really hope that the food is good. Wherever they're putting food around this thing, please let it be good.
Well, they're not really for Disney World, Disneyland. They are though, but
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just. I don't know. There should be a really nice food place there.
Yeah, they really should.
And it should be like an uptick. It shouldn't be a quick serve. It should be something good.
Yeah, that's the one at Disneyland's going to be a quick serve. So,
and that's still not good enough for me. I feel like that's a missed opportunity. It's tough because of where it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
and literally, Blue Bayou is right next to it, which is the same type of food. So,
yeah,
I get it, but I don't know.
It's definitely tough in Disney World because there's just not a space for it there.
Yeah,
there's
nowhere to put it.
Yeah, I mean they couldn't even like convert the gift shop into it because that gift shop is already super small, right? Like so, unless they want to like take that area out into Frontierland a little bit more, right? And like get rid of Pecos Bill, but they're not going to do that.
No,
or
get rid of Pecos Bill,
or go behind Big Thunder and expand that way.
They could do that, yeah.
I don't know. Then I'm just looking at this thing that Tom has, this Garden Rocks and Epcot. And like, I'm looking down this list and it's like, why is this all old people music?
It always is, dude. It always is old people music.
But why though? I guess what I'm asking is why?
I don't know. Well, probably because they don't want to spend a lot of money on somebody like, that's popular.
But you don't even have to give me like super popular. Just give me somebody that's like,
moderately popular.
Not collecting Social Security.
You don't want to go listen to Smash Mouth, Damon?
I thought Smash Mouth broke up. I thought they were done.
I don't know.
This was big for a hot second, right?
Flock of Seagulls.
This is just not
Flock of Seagulls.
I mean, only a hairstyle. Like,
I mean, how many members are even left in Blue Oyster Cult? I mean,
Simple Plan.
I just feel like with that many dates, they could have gotten like some up and comers.
No, this is always how it is, man.
I know, but it's so brutal.
Yeah, these are all like. I think the most recent ones here are from like the early 2000s.
Wait, they got the plain white tees. They were popular for a minute.
When?
Like the early 2000s, right?
Were they?
Yeah.
When was that song?
Starting to realize that like 2000 is 23 years
That's
ago.
my point. Is that there's no bands here that are like any younger than 20 years ago.
Yeah, because they're not going to spend the kind of fee that's required for any band that's popular.
That's what I'm saying. Like, get smaller, newer groups. Like, it doesn't have to be somebody huge.
Up and coming. Okay.
Yeah, go to the other end and find the ones that are not superstars, but maybe promote.
And here's the other thing: Disneyland gets all the good like teen people, right?
Yeah,
like why
is
can't
that
we
because
have
of the location though? Like, it's
it's a different vibe.
They're also talent, right? At the end of the day, like there's nothing stopping them from flying them out.
That's true.
To WDW, right? Like, and just give me a few of those, man. Like, give me something.
Damien, you don't want to see Wang Chung?
I mean, they got one song, and like once that's over, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the thing. There's a lot of one song groups here that I just.
Why do I feel like Wang Chung had two songs? I feel like they had two songs.
Maybe for you they did.
Yeah, I only know the one song. I mean,
no, they did have two songs.
Into Wang Chung that we don't know.
They had
about.
two songs. They had Dance Hall Days and Everybody Have Fun Tonight. They had two songs.
Those are two songs for you. There's only one that I would listen to.
I don't know the first one.
I don't know the first one.
You guys absolutely know Dance Hall Days.
No, I don't.
I'm sure that I do, but like, I just, dude, you gonna make me actually Google it?
You know everyone knows that song. It's a very popular song.
I mean, I'm sure it is, but not something I want to listen to.
I feel like these are a lot of returning ones too, like Rick Springfield. I'm pretty sure Ambrosia was there last year. Flock of Seagulls. I feel like it's always, you know this song, right? Yeah, everyone knows that song. I would play it if we didn't have to like pay for rights for things.
I mean, it's something
I have heard this on the radio.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's vaguely in between the back of my head,
in between other songs that I'm trying to listen to.
Not something that I'm like, okay, I can get down with that. I don't know any of the words to it.
Yeah,
how's that?
No, I mean just the Dance All Days part. But I feel like it was in a bunch of '80s movies though too. Like I feel like
maybe, and I do love me the '80s movies.
Yeah.
It was on the trailer too. Like it was always in the trailer.
Everything was on a ski slope.
Yeah,
dude, Better Off Dead's one of my favorite '80s movies. I love that movie. It's one of my favorites.
On a ski slope.
Yeah,
I just think about all the like so terrible '80s movies that I watched on like Cinemax, right? Because they were all on Cinemax, and I was just like, why am I watching this? And I don't think I could remember the names of them.
Okay, since we're here, I'll just bring this up.
We're here.
I mean, there's a lot of things I was going to say, but they're just not appropriate.
I went down a terrifying rabbit hole of 80s movies that I realized, or what it made me realize was that there was a point where my parents were renting us movies on the weekend, and we basically watched everything that our local video store had to offer. Yeah. And they were scraping the bottom of the barrel. And there was no way that I would have watched these shows otherwise. Unless my parents were just desperate to like put something on the TV for us to watch, which basically, kept us entertained for about an hour and a half. There was some really bad movies, and I don't even want to go into it because it's like you'll just be like, what are you even talking about? But I feel you. I had tried to describe them to my wife, and she actually asked me if I was having dreams or if these were real movies.
Some of them were so bad that they could definitely have been fever dreams.
Yes, too. They were. Like it was.
How many of them starred John Cusack?
None of the ones I watched.
No, John Cusack's 80s movies were really great. Like I said, Better Off Dead's one of my favorites. So I mean,
but there definitely was some sort of skiing or something going on in most of them. for sure.
Yeah, there was skiing. Yeah, yeah. There was always some sort of community center they had to save or something.
Yeah.
How did we even get on this? I don't even know.
Because we're looking at bad bands for Garden Rocks.
What are you talking about? Cool in the Gang is not a bad band. You know, you got Cool in the
but they're just old, man.
That's for 2 days out of this entire thing.
I'm not even trying to argue for these, man. I'm just kidding. Mostly. I mean, there's a couple on here that I would check out, right? Like I said,
I know. I think being from New Jersey and the fact that I just can't listen to Rick Springfield probably hurts a lot of New Jersey people, but I just can't do it, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I also just love that they don't have Journey. They have Journey former lead vocalist.
Yep.
Like they can't even get Journey. Like, I mean, is Journey still out there, right? With some other lead singer, I think.
Oh, I don't know.
Starship's a good one. Switchfoot was the thing for a second, right? Like they were a thing.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah.
No, they had like a song.
Again,
I think.
Same problem as the other one, where it's like it's probably something that I heard on the radio when I used to listen to the radio, and now it's like
get me some like different type of music too. Like I'll take Run DMC.
That'd be cool.
I'll take them. Like give me some 80s ish hip hop or something.
Yeah.
Like
that'd be cool.
Something else.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, listen, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm trying to even think of who like the biggest act on this thing is.
Which one would you actually go see? Was probably the best.
I would see Wang Chung. I'd see Wang Chung.
Of course you would.
I would see Wang Chung. Yeah,
because you knew both songs immediately. I
did. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I don't think there's anyone on here that I would see. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about? I mean, Flock of Seagulls. What had one song, right?
Yeah, like I'm just
Living Color. No.
Again, this is the problem: is that which of these would you go and listen to their title song or their one hit wonder? Which ones am I staying around to listen to more of?
None.
I'd go to see Blue Oyster Cult just to see them play The Reaper, right? I would go just for that.
I don't like Blue Oyster Cult.
I just like that one song. They also did Burning for You too, didn't they? Yeah, they did. Sorry. I know, it's just really random. But anyway. So we did that whole thing now. This came up because they released the lists for all of this is for Garden Rocks, it's for the Flower and Garden Festival. They have all the what are you laughing at, Trevor?
So the Pointer Sisters are on here.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So if they were doing the 1 to 12 song from Sesame Street, would you stay to listen to that?
No.
Ooh. Sesame Street is just so underrated these days.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Like those.
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you that I've been on this kick recently. So I guess what happens now is, right, so HBO Max is who pays for Sesame Street, right? Was that Cartoono or Cartini or whatever they call it?
Yeah, they have it there,
right?
Yeah.
And then it comes out the next year or something on PBS or next 6 months, something like that, right? I think that's how it works.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I just know that Sesame Street and stuff is on there, so.
Yeah, I think what happens is it comes out on HBO Max first and then makes its way over
PBS,
to the PBS. So I just feel like I was doing something and I was writing about Sesame Street and I just started to like look back at like, dude, their parodies are just something special, man. Like they really are like so underrated. Their parodies, they truly, truly are. So I would pay for a Sesame Street anything if they were there.
No, I get that. I just can't. I mean, I think we have to say the biggest act on here is Smash Mouth, right? I mean, they were pretty big at one point.
Over the Pointer Sisters?
The biggest act I mean, I don't know. That's
currently you're pulling at straws.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
All Star was on like 2 or 3 different movies. Like they had their moment, but they didn't really. Yeah, I mean, All Star is really the only thing I can think about when you say Smash Mouth.
I thought the lead singer just quit from that band. Didn't he just quit?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong person. I'm not a rock and roll sort of guy, so.
Yeah, no, I think he just quit, man. Like, I think there's a new lead singer there too. So, like, you're going to go see him with like a different lead singer that has been with the band the entire time. I don't know.
That'll be weird.
I would see Smash Mouth probably. I mean, I'd check them out, but I really do want to see. I would love to see Wang Chung. Like, I'm just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there, man. I don't know. I think it's because the songs remind me of the 80s movies, and that's what would get me, I think, right? But it's like anytime you see any of these bands, it's just like they're playing all these songs and they never play like their one hit first, right? Like, so, and you're just sitting there waiting for them to play the one song you want them to play.
Okay.
You know?
So I just looked this up. The lead singer was Steve Harwell, and he left Smash Mouth in 2021.
Yeah, he did. Right?
The only original.
That's 2 years ago, Tom.
Yeah, the only original member of Smash Mouth is the bassist.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
The rest of them are gone too?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I did not know that. That's crazy. No, you're right. It is 2 years ago, but I was saying recently.
That's a hard pass, though.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, do any of these bands still have all the same members in them? I mean, I can't imagine Blue Oyster Cult still has the same lineup, right? Like,
I don't know. This has turned into a really bad episode of music.
Yeah, let's get off this topic. Garden Rocks is a thing, and we're not going.
You guys do the ad.
Let's do the
I'm
ad.
leaving and going to sleep, and that's that.
Good night, Damon.
Good night, David. Dream of Wang Chung.
Yeah.
So our sponsor of this episode is DVC Resale Market. DVC Resale Market, a World of DVC company, is the leader in the DVC resale industry with 13 former Disney Vacation Club guides and 3 former Disney Vacation Club quality assurance managers. If you're thinking of buying DVC, browse the largest selection of DVC resale listings anywhere, with DVC experts on hand 7 days a week to answer your questions. If you're thinking of selling, turn to the friendly professionals at DVC Resale Market, where over 98% of listings sell within 30 days. In 2021, DVC Resale Market helped over 4,400 families join or add on to their memberships. Go to dvcresalemarket.com or call 1-844-DVC-PROS. That's 1-844-382-7767. And when you speak to them, be sure to let them know that Welcome Home sent you. Okay, so now that we're not talking about terrible music anymore.
Yeah.
So you know, Disney has come out now with the what the storyline is going to be, or at least part of the storyline is going to be for the for Tiana's Bayou adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the idea here is that she's I've read this earlier and I'm forgetting already here. So Tiana purchases a salt mine and the area surrounding the salt mine, and then they turn it into like a place to grow, like a farm, they turn it into like a farm. And then they also do like let's see what else, a boutique farm and a working and teaching kitchen. Okay, that sounds like fun. And she has an original line of hot sauces, which you know Disney's probably going to formulate and sell somewhere.
Oh yeah,
right. Good.
Yeah, I'm just reading this as well. So yeah, it kind of starts off with, like you said, you know, the salt mine and everybody coming together to help build up this area, you know, growing crops and everything, and then it turns out. Or it said something about Mardi Gras in here.
There's a Mardi Gras piece to this, that they have a big Mardi Gras party, right?
Yeah.
Throwing an amazing party during the Mardi Gras season. Yeah. So, and then it says, when we arrive, we may see that Tiana spruced up the company's facilities with vibrant art from local artists. I think the interesting part about this is the concept art they have here. So obviously they're going to be building a large water tower. Looks like to the right of like the waterfall of Splash Mountain.
Yep.
Right. For the former Splash Mountain site, a big water tower that says Tiana's Foods on it. So I mean, that's what it seems like anyway. Right. And they've actually branded all the construction walls with Tiana's Foods. So obviously this is, something they've been planning for a while. So
wait,
so it's cool. Good. Sorry.
So in the picture, there's a crane that looks like it's putting the tiara onto the water tower. Is Disney actually going to use a crane as a permanent?
It's interesting you said that, because I was thinking the same thing, Trevor. I'm thinking to myself, wait, is that part of it, right? Are they going to just have that like that? I want to say no, right? But I also think it could be a cool detail too, right? I mean, if the whole story of the ride is her putting this together, right? Like that makes it part of the story, but I doubt it. I just don't see it happening.
I feel like that would be a funny jab at all the people who have complained about the cranes ruining the eye line at at Disney. It's like, oh, there's always a crane in the sight line because they're doing stuff. And I think it would be funny if they did this as a, there's a crane here, deal with it, right?
Yeah, there's a crane here and it will always be there. Just deal with it. Although, it's interesting though too, because the background is really blurred, right? For where Splash Mountain is, right? Mm-hmm. And some of the other concept art we've seen has had like a large tree at the top of, like a different tree at the top of the mountain, and that's not in this concept picture. So, I don't know if maybe that's going to change, and we're gonna, I don't know. I think it's interesting. The background is really blurred out. Really, the only thing you see is that water tower, right?
Yeah, but I feel like that's maybe it's a avoiding spoilers thing, that they just did that on purpose.
That could be it too.
And to the point, now that I'm looking at it, it says placing the tiara in 1927. This may be like, queue type stuff where like it's like build up to the ride and like it's showing like history and whatnot. Like because the more that I'm reading this article, I'm realizing this is not just the ride; it's the whole area that they're talking about. So I get the feeling you're going to see. Because like the queue area actually has, it's more so when you get inside the building, but that whole area had like little nods to the actual ride, like it kind of implied like all the different animals were living there and all that. I'm getting the feeling that this is going to be stuff that you see like peppered throughout the queue and whatnot, and it's going to be again one of these things that Disney loves doing, which is. You can just, you can space out and walk through the queue and miss all of this stuff. Or if, you're really interested in it, you can kind of dive into the lore of the ride by finding these little bits and pieces through the queue. And that's what this is leaning more towards for me now that I'm thinking about it. But I still like the idea that they, that crane just got left there for whatever reason.
Oh, that'd be amazing. That'd be so great. I mean, it almost kind of to what you're talking about. Like part of the reason my favorite ride at Disney is Big Thunder is because of that, what you're talking about, right? Yeah. Where you can just go surface level on Big Thunder and just ride it and have fun. Or you can really dig deep. There's a lot of backstory to Big Thunder that if you want to know about, you can find out about, right? Like, but it's really, you could do it surface level or you can really dive deep into the story of Big Thunder, right? And I mean, they do that with most of the rides, but I feel like it's even more so with Big Thunder, and it seems like they're doing something very similar here with Tiana. So
yeah, and they're like, I mean, Haunted Mansion's another example too, that if you really start, looking in the queue, there is all kinds of little hints. And I know what you mean in Big Thunder, that it's like you can go and read like there's like schedules for when people showed up, and it kind of builds a story of like, hey, this was a working mine and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, and at some point the town flooded, and like there's a whole lot of really cool stuff there. Yeah. So I'm glad that they put this out there, and it's obviously they're going to build anticipation. And honestly, I don't know if you've been following, but I mean, they seem to be working at a pace that I don't think I've seen Disney construction work at ever. Like they're like moving very quickly on this, which is surprising because Disney moves very slowly.
I want to say I'm surprised, but I'm kind of not, based on how long it took to get to this point and how long ago they announced it, and them kind of saying at various points along the way that they're like, they've been doing planning and they've been doing things in the background. And so I feel like, it seems like it's quicker than most, but that's because I think in the past Disney has said, hey, we're doing this ride. And so like they shut down an area and they're like, okay, we're going to build and design as we go. I think a lot of the design work is already done for this, or they had more than enough time because of how things have gone the last couple of years, that they had more time to really focus on the design. So now that they're at execution, it seems like it's going really, really fast because they're not stopping to look at design like they would in the past.
Yeah. Well, and they're also not starting from scratch, right? Like the past couple of projects, the past bunch of projects have not been rethemes. They've been built from the ground up, right? Like even Guardians, even though Guardians used, the building. Part of the Universal Energy building. I mean, they built the biggest show building ever right behind it to contain the, so like, and that's what took the bulk of the time, not, stripping out the Universal Energy building. So this is a little different, right? Because you're the mechanics of the ride are going to stay the same. The ride's not really going away. It's just got a different coat of paint on it. You know?
Fundamentally, you're right. There's nothing actually wrong with the ride. If you think about it,
exactly.
Splash Mountain is one of those rides that doesn't have breakdowns the way that other rides do. Like because it is a log flume, it's basically just you've got lift hills and then you've got water flow systems, and those strangely enough
the boats aren't sinking anyway.
Yeah,
the boats aren't sinking. Yeah,
but again, but boats like that's more incidental, and it's not like you can pull out a boat and the whole ride keeps functioning, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, they're like other rides, like you said, it's like, hey, they got to rip out the entire structure. They have to redo it from the ground up, because this is effectively kind of like Maelstrom, where, it's just a redo.
It's Frozen Ever After.
It's a redo of an existing ride, and they're not changing the underlying structure very much. Of course it will go way faster, but I guess the thing that I'm curious about is, I think I know what you're talking about is, you're seeing like a lot of like, they're taking out stuff quickly and, doing what looks like, concrete work and all that stuff very quickly. I hope that, it gets done faster than we think, but I get the feeling that along the way, they're going to be putting stuff in. And this is something to think about too, is that, they're having to work within the confines of the existing ride. So there may be technical challenges that, they think, oh, hey, we can put this animatronic in. And then when they get it there, it's like, oh, actually, we didn't factor in that it needs this much space. Right. And that could change things. But hopefully this goes quick. And, either way, it's the one thing that's gotten me about a lot of the reporting around it is, people are still crying about Splash Mountain.
Yeah, I know.
And
selling jars of water from it.
Yeah, but I'm going to miss this ride. My kids will never. Yes, your kids will be able to ride it because the ride is still there. Yeah, it's like the ride itself is not changing.
It's the same ride.
You're just getting new visuals.
Which is probably going to be more relevant to your kids than a movie that they would have never seen, and now it's going to be a movie that they maybe did see.
And frankly, the last time that we wrote it, and actually it was funny, I went back, a couple of vloggers posted final day riding Splash Mountain videos.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of them.
And it's funny, from November till when the ride closed, there's a couple of times where I was like, maybe, these things were just shut down because, it just wasn't working that day or whatever. No, there was a lot of stuff in Splash Mountain that, I get, towards the end, they were just neglecting it anyway.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah.
But there was a lot of stuff that was just not working. Like there was there was a whole section where there's an animatronic that had Brer Rabbit that was supposed to go hopping along next to you that just does not work right now.
Doesn't work. Yeah.
And it's like, get it out. Like, sorry, but get it out and let's get something new in there.
Yeah, no, I get that. That makes sense. I'm trying to I was trying to find because I think the other factor that weighs in here, right, is that Splash Mountain's a people eater at the busiest theme park in the world, right? Yep. That's another problem here too, is that, and now given Tron's going to open and then eat up some of those crowds too, but Tron's going to bring more crowds, right? So they're really going to miss that capacity of Splash Mountain, especially during the summertime, when it's hot and people do want to go and get wet on a log flume ride. That's going to, I really think, really hurt there too. So, but it's interesting though too, because it almost feels like it needs less reworking than Frozen Ever After did. Because I mean, Frozen Ever After, they moved the entrance and the exit, if I remember correctly, or one of either the entrance or the exit. I think they swapped them around. So they did do a little bit of changes to the layout, and they also had to cover up that opening too. That used to be a maelstrom. You remember the backwards part?
The back,
was open. So I mean, that one took a little bit more work. Even now, given Splash Mountain's a much bigger, just physically bigger ride, right? So there's probably just a lot more to do there. But I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how quickly they move on this. I think they're going to try to move as quickly as they can. So, which is a good thing. I mean, Disney needs to, and years ago, they had tried to put new people in charge over at Imagineering so that they weren't taking, 5 years to build things like they did with Tron. But obviously that didn't help too much since, Tron and Guardians both took a long time. And
well, that's not fair, because
it's not, but yeah.
I mean, we kind of had a major global event that
true.
Had no precedent to it. So
that's true. Yeah. That's true. That's true. I mean, Tron probably would have opened in time for the 50th anniversary and hadn't been for the pandemic. So
yeah,
that's what it was supposed to. It was supposed to be there for the anniversary. So
now, speaking of Tron,
listen, I'm sure people have Tron fatigue at this point because we keep talking about it, but they keep releasing stuff, and I feel like I can't not address these pictures. So
yeah, they're showing photos of the Lightcycle run and the canopy, like the canopy actually operating, which is very impressive. Like, just
and the video that they have in here too is even cooler, man. It's like
it's gonna be really cool when it opens, and like we've said before, is that where he's standing underneath of it in that video.
Yeah,
I hope that there's an area that's big enough. It's going to be crowded at first, but I hope eventually there's a point where it's like you don't have to get on the ride, but you can stand there and just watch that. Watch the cars come around, or the train come around, and the way that the lights move through the canopy and everything. Like, oh, that's so good.
They move with the train. Like they actually follow the train, which is so cool. It's. To your point, Trevor, like one of the things I like doing at Disney a lot is sometimes just standing there and soaking in the visuals and the ambiance of things. And this is like at night, this is going to be a destination, this is going to be a place that people want to go and hang out and check this out. Cause it just looks incredible,
It's a huge improvement to Tomorrowland, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure.
Like, it's just
for sure.
More lights, please. More just like futuristic nighttime lights that I can go hang out and look at.
just go stand underneath and look at. Yeah. No, this just looks so cool. And I mean, listen, the cast member previews are starting. Started, I should say. So some of the interior photos and things like that are starting to come out around this. So. Which I know, Trevor, you're spoiler averse, so I'm surprised you're even looking at these pictures. But
that's I would see that walking up to the ride either way. I don't need to see the full run through of the ride.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
a little different.
Yeah, that's true. And they have those videos are out there, right? Where you can see the first couple minutes of it. So. But I mean, man, it's the canopy just looks amazing. They really did an amazing job with this, and it just looks awesome. I know everybody's tired of us talking about Tron, but it's just I had to bring it up. So,
well, then why don't we talk about PhotoPass Photographers just to completely change it?
I wasn't even gonna put this on here because it's just such minor news. But
I think it's worth mentioning.
Do you? Okay, good. Yeah. Because I was questioning myself on this, but. So these PhotoPass photographers now have green, very, very bright green uniforms.
Yes.
That are made out of recycled materials. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And so as we've talked about before, with Disney trying to, lower their carbon footprint and be more environmentally conscientious, making sure that, the uniforms, like if you think about it, how many uniforms do they go through? And, finding a way to make them recyclable and all that, I think is great. And I will say some of the comments that I've read about this is, I think a lot of people like the fact that the PhotoPass photographers are getting a bright green because, sure. when you're walking through a crowd or in some of the areas like, in the hub in Magic Kingdom, PhotoPass photographers being in white, there's a lot of people dressed in white. And it's sometimes very hard to pick them out in a crowd. Also, I think it's good to differentiate them from even other cast members because, sometimes you're like, oh, maybe that person can take my picture. And it may be, a cast member just happened to be working nearby, but they're not a PhotoPass cast member. Right. So I like this for a couple of reasons. Like, the environmentally friendly part is great. And, the fact that they're trying to, better identify them and make it so that you can, see see them in a crowd. Like that's all good to me.
Yeah, and that green color does match the PhotoPass logo, right? Like the Mickey ears with the green part in the middle there. So it matches. And I also mentions here too, the fabric's designed to control moisture and protect against the sun rays. So I have a lot of shirts like this that are like UV protection and also like moisture wicking.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm sure every time I see a Disney cast member like wearing certain things, I'm like, man, that just doesn't look comfortable in the Florida heat. So like, it's nice to see that they're giving them this kind of stuff that will, is not going to is going to be maybe a little bit cooler and a little bit more, a little bit lighter.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like you said, some of the cast members, I'm like, I don't know how you can be functioning wearing that in 80-degree weather.
Yeah, because I could barely function in just my shorts and shirt that I'm wearing.
Yeah,
So. All right, so I know people are mixed on. Although I think the majority of people like when we talk about food, right? Like I think we did the poll there, and there was like very few people that didn't like when we talk about food. So, and I like talking about food. So we have Valentine's Day treats, Trevor.
Okay. So, all right. So first of all, Valentine's Day is such a non-holiday for me.
It's a non-holiday. Yeah.
So this is kind of like, if I was showing up in the parks on Valentine's Day, it'd be like, hey, here's a bunch of red stuff. Cool. Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, and by the way, this stuff is like super limited. Most of them are February 10th through 14th or 13th and 14th. So they're very limited items, right? Like they're only for a couple days at the most, but I mean, there's some cool stuff in here, right? Like a zebra mousse cake. I mean, that looks pretty good over at the Mara at Animal Kingdom in my home resort.
Yeah.
Bananas for mousse, a banana cake, peanut butter mousse, banana jam, banana cream, candied almonds, and caramel. That looks pretty good too.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm scrolling through this and
you don't want to eat any of it?
It all looks the same. It's all just like a cupcake with sprinkles.
What are you talking? I mean, look, the Boardwalk Deli strawberry cheesecake brownie.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, so
it's a square cupcake with chocolate on top.
More like a rectangle. I mean,
All right.
It's a brownie.
Yep.
It's a brownie. I mean, okay. Well, what about over at Flying Fish? The what is it? Cocoa Breach, vanilla custard, chocolate bavois, I believe is the correct way to say that. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce this word. Some sort of crunch with a heart-shaped overlay. That looks really delicious. Look at you. That was
Fullatine.
Fullatine?
Yeah.
I've never seen that word in my entire life. I have no idea what that is.
Okay.
Okay. But I mean, like, there's some good. I don't know what you're talking about, Trevor. There's some good looking stuff in here. Look at this little.
Short.
Yeah, that looks good. I would eat that. Would you? It's a heart-shaped almond cheesecake with chocolate sponge cake enrobed in dark. Anytime anything's enrobed in chocolate, I'm in. Give me that. I want to eat that.
Just covered in chocolate.
Yeah, just enrobed in. If you say enrobed in chocolate, I'm buying it. It's I don't even care what it is. I'm going to buy it. I like this cupcake though too, with little roses on top. Those are pretty cool.
So. We've talked about this before, and this is where this kind of gets me is that, and I've said this, is when you start mixing the fruit and chocolate together, I'm out. So
wait, there's no fruit that you like mixed with chocolate?
No, none? I want chocolate as chocolate, and if I'm going to have fruit, I'm going to have fruit. I don't want fruit
like
hidden in my chocolate.
What about like a chocolate covered strawberry?
Don't want them.
Oh man.
Yep. So
I mean, listen, I'm with you on most things. Like when you get to like oranges mixed with chocolate, no, I'm not doing that. But like, I'll do a strawberry, I'll do a raspberry, yeah. Okay. Those two, I think I'd be good with.
Okay, so the first thing that caught my eye here is the Passion Eclair at the Barcelona Lounge in Coronado Springs.
Okay,
which is it's fruit ganache topped with swirls of strawberry ganache. It's got the white chocolate pearls and chocolate hearts, which again, that's fine. You can kind of put those off to the side, but it's an eclair, which it's basically a fancy donut with some strawberry mousse. No, that's fine.
I feel like every time I eat something with one of those pearls on it, I feel like I'm going to shatter my tooth. Like, I just have never been into one of those where I was like, oh, that was nice and soft. It was like, oh, man, I might need dental work after eating this. See, I like this Valentine's Day chocolate box where the box is made out of chocolate. Yeah. And it has brownies in it.
This is the one at Riviera, right?
Yeah. That's it's a raspberry macaroon and a hazelnut praline truffles and the Riviera brownie. And then it looks like the box is also made out of chocolate from what I can see here. Which, if I can eat the packaging, I'm not against eating the packaging.
You just start eating the packaging, and the fact that there happens to be stuff inside is a bonus?
No, I would eat them out first. No.
Just bite into the
What kind of animal do you think I am, Trevor?
Somebody who likes fruit with their chocolate.
Mildly offended. Let's see.
I will say, so again, at Riviera, the Topolino Terrace, Cupid's Plated Dessert, I think that's an amaretto mousse, or whatever's in the center is that like very glossy red. Looks fantastic, but I wouldn't eat it.
Man, I really badly want to eat at Topolino's. I've heard so many good things, and I really tried to get a reservation there for my last trip and just couldn't make it happen. But I just have heard so many good things about Topolino's, and I'm all in favor always of a rooftop dining experience. So, let's see here. What else we got?
They just ruined okay.
What did they ruin? What are you talking about?
So, okay, Kona Island, Polynesian Resort, they have a Stitch and Angel date night, which that in and of itself is very cute because so Angel is.
But they're just like basic cupcakes. Well, so sorry, go ahead.
Well, but yeah, you start reading it. It's a pair of vanilla cupcakes, one with chocolate, one with chocolate and one with peanut butter mousse filling. So the filling on them is interesting, but then. And then it says the other one is peanut butter mousse with a jelly filling. No.
It's peanut butter and jelly. What? No. It's peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
No, I don't eat peanut butter and jelly.
I mean, I don't really either, but I don't dislike the flavor.
But then this becomes like a terrible roulette thing where you've got two cupcakes and one of them is good and the other one is awful.
That's fair.
Yeah. That's not Valentine's Day to me, but...
There's some good looking stuff at Emirates. I mean, there's always good looking stuff at Emirates, let's be honest. But I mean, they never have bad looking stuff. But like this Beauty and the Beast cake looks pretty good. So almond chiffon, cherry jam, cream cheese filling, red wine dark chocolate mousse, white chocolate pretzels, and a red wine simple syrup. That's pretty good cake there.
Interesting.
I mean, that sounds good. Yeah.
Now, again, visually, they've got a very nice molded thing on the front with the silhouette of Beauty and the Beast, but I don't know if I would eat it.
Yeah. What about the s'more that's going on over here? A strawberry s'more.
Strawberry s'more. Oh.
Yeah, it's right next to the
I see it.
The piñata that the one that that you can, which I told you I did it and it was a lot of fun to just smash something with a giant mallet. I actually kept the mallet because it's like a really nice mallet. I have no idea what I'll ever use it for, but I still have it.
If you run into another chocolate ball, you'll be ready.
Yeah, but you would think though, if I buy another chocolate ball, that they would provide the mallet then, or is it one of those things where I show up and I'm like already prepared?
Yeah. If you run into one in the wild, you'll be ready for it.
I do keep it on me at all times. I have a holster on my belt. I just keep it there for any mallet related emergencies. Oh man, I mean, Damon had the right idea going to bed.
Doing this late at night, we do get a little punchy for sure.
We do get a little punchy. Yeah, I mean, it's not even that late at night. Like we get a little punchy.
Yeah, it's later for you guys than it is for me, but it's
it's true. It happens. What about? I'm just going down a little bit further here. What about this red looking Dole Whip they got going on here?
The Valentine's Day. It's a Dole Whip strawberry, which
I feel like I don't remember if they've had in the past, but probably. I don't know. But they have one that's a float with sparkling red wine, a Dole Whip strawberry, and a chocolate covered strawberry on top. All right. Yeah, I don't drink wine, but
I'd try it. And then the Valentine's Day red velvet cone like they put chocolate and strawberry Dole Whip together, or chocolate soft serve with Dole Whip strawberry.
You just hate the fruit combination.
I don't like it's like, to me, I don't know, like fruit is fruit. I just like, I keep it in one compartment, and then chocolate is like dessert, or like,
okay, it's fair.
I don't want fruit for dessert.
All right, well, how about this chocolate liege waffle from Connections, a place that you ate at?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in.
I've heard
that.
the liege waffles there are very good. So, did you have one when you were there? Did you have one of the waffles or no?
No, we didn't actually get the waffles when we were there. Now that I think about it, we were busy trying everything else. Like we had a couple of meals there, and I never stopped to look at the dessert stuff at the time.
I get that. I'm very dessert oriented, right? Like I like having like a something sweet at the end of a meal to like be a palate cleanser for me. You know, right. I like dessert. You know, yeah, I know. I get it though. Not everybody's a big sweets person, right? So, but I am. I love sweets.
Well, but I guess the way that I look at it is that there's always something else that we want to go get, like a snack or something like that, and especially in EPCOT, like there's like the like caramel couche and stuff like that. You know, you go get like some really good caramel or something like that. So I tend to. I know what you mean. Is you know, it's sometimes nice to sit down and have dessert with the meal, but when I'm there, I don't think about like having dessert with my meal, because I know we're going to go get something else to eat afterwards.
No, that makes sense. What about this? What about the red velvet whoopie pie? I like a good whoopie pie.
Oh, whoopie pies are always good.
Yeah, red velvet cake with cream cheese buttercream topped with strawberry buttercream. Yeah, I eat that.
That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We got you on that one. Red velvet, white chocolate mousse. And you also always will get me with white chocolate too, by the way. Mm-hmm. Red velvet, white chocolate mousse atop a chocolate cookie. Yeah, it's basic, but I'd eat it. It's at Brown Derby.
Yeah. That's what is it called when they do the shiny?
Oh yeah,
like that really well tempered chocolate, right? Like it's
yeah. I don't know what the actual term is for it, but.
And then what is this? Okay, this is at Disney.
This is the gray stuff. Yeah, this is Disneyland. Disneyland.
This is the love stuff.
Yeah, but it's just the gray stuff, and they threw it on a red cookie.
They threw it on a neon red cookie. Like, holy, that is so red.
That is red.
Yeah,
that food dye is going to come back later to haunt you.
So red shortbread cookie, red velvet cake. So there's velvet cake in there too.
Where?
And then raspberry cookie and cream mousse and heart sprinkles. So I'm guessing the inner part of that is velvet cake. So it's not just
the core is a cake.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like a cone shaped cake.
Wow.
All right.
That's
all right. You know what? I turned around on this one. I want it now.
Yep. and then they went and ruined a perfectly good funnel cake.
Why? By putting cookies on it, and is your problem here the strawberries that's on it?
Chocolate strawberry funnel cake, no deal.
Yeah, there's brownie crumbles on it though.
We'll take off the chocolate strawberry and give me everything else.
All right. Well, what about a strawberry cheesecake pretzel with strawberry and graham cracker dusted cream cheese pretzel? That sounds good.
That is good. That I will do. It's the chocolate. Like I said, when you mix chocolate and strawberry or fruits, no, but strawberry
and cream though. When you have cream,
strawberry cheesecake is really good. So yeah, strawberry cheesecake pretzel. Yeah, I'm in on that. And then the strawberry cookies and cream churro, which we've talked about this before. Is I get that they have to keep like doing something to the churros, but sometimes it's like just leave the churro alone.
Leave the churros alone.
Yeah.
I'm just scrolling down here, going down to Ballast Point Brewing Company and the Tres Leches Rosewater cake.
Yeah.
I am a sucker for a Tres Leches cake, not going to lie.
Mm-hmm.
So although the rose milk you got to be careful with that rosewater taste. Like if you go a little too far with it, it gets bad.
I haven't had enough rosewater to know what that is or like what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I've heard.
I don't want to feel like I'm eating a rose though. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm actually eating a rose. I just want like the essence of it, like.
Okay.
All right, let's see what else we got here. There's a lot left on here, man. What are you laughing at?
This red velvet cake shake. They're not even trying anymore.
They just throw a big slice of red velvet cake on the top of it.
It's just like a milkshake with a big slab of cake.
Dude, that's a thing now, though. Like that's the thing that they do. Like, you know, it's that is a shake that is literally not meant to be eaten correctly. It is only meant to be taken, you know, with a picture and put on social media. That is like the only reason they have it.
Because that will fall over in a second, for starters.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Like, it's not like you're walking around with your milkshake in downtown Disney, like, you know, I'm going to eat this piece of cake off the top of my milkshake. Like, oh.
I'm just scrolling down here to just go into, you know, because there's a lot of these left, and I think we should wrap this one up and just.
You know, back to my point earlier, you know, the faster that I'm scrolling through this, I'm like, you can't even tell what's what, because it's just like, here's a red something. Here's more, you know, okay, I get Valentine's Day. Thank you. Like, be original, people.
I think there's some creative stuff in here.
I didn't say it wasn't creative, but they're not being original. There's a difference.
Oh my God, what is the sandwich covered in cheese that I'm looking at? Oh my God.
It's like an inside out grilled cheese.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I must eat it. Oh my gosh. Yeah,
is that the croque monsieur?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Wow, that looks delicious. This is only for the Sweethearts Night, though. That one little event that they're doing over at Disneyland. So, all right. I don't really see anything else on here that I want, especially this fish that still has the eyes in it over at Shanghai.
Nope, I'll pass.
I don't want a whole fish on a plate with the fin still attached to it. I'm good. Thanks. Anyway.
Yeah. All right. Let's okay. Do we want to finish up with this rumor?
Yeah, let's finish up. Yeah. Let's. Okay. So there's a rumor out there, and we're again going to credit this to WDW&T, which, you know, has a mixed record with rumors, but based on the information they put out there, I kind of believe this rumor, right? So there is a casting call that is posted on the Disney Auditions website for a new show coming to the Hyperion Theater at Disney California Adventure, which has been vacant since COVID.
Yep.
So there was Frozen there, and then it just never reopened, I guess, right? With the parks reopening, right? Were you going to say something, Trevor? Sorry.
No, I was getting a drink, but
oh, okay. Okay, well, that's the thing you can do too.
I was trying to, you know, not do that while, you know, or, you know, I was trying to mute myself and be courteous, but
my bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just did the same thing. I went and got a drink while you were going through that. So anyway, so this was the Frozen had closed there during the pandemic, and it has been closed since. So now the rumor is that they're going to do a live adaptation of Hercules. Which I think is a really great idea, actually.
Oh, easy.
Because if you think about Hercules, it's funny, and I talk to my wife about this all the time. It's like Disney's like literally incapable of making a nighttime show without including Go the Distance, right? Like every single one that they put out has it in there. Like we were just watching the new Disneyland one, right? Because we wanted to see what that one looks like. And it's in there too. Like it's in every single one that they do, right? So even though that movie was not super popular, it has a lot of great music in it, and I feel like it lends itself to one of these stage shows, right?
Was it? I feel it was popular enough.
Yeah, I mean, but it wasn't Beauty and the Beast, right? Like it wasn't
all right, fair.
Lion King. It wasn't Little Mermaid. It was.
It's still, you know, it's still up there. And yeah, I mean,
it is.
The soundtrack was pretty amazing. So
yeah, the soundtrack was great. I mean, it's, you know, yeah, the soundtrack is great. So I like this idea, but basically, you know, the way that they're, you know, coming to this conclusion is based on the way that the roles are posted, right? So like the description of the roles sound very much like they match to like a lot of the characters in Hercules. So I could see this happening. I really could. And by the way, I don't know if you've watched this yet. This is not really related. But that Encanto live stage show thing that they did, that they put on Disney Plus, is absolutely fantastic.
I heard that, and I never got around to watching it.
My daughter's obsessed with it, so I've watched it 20 times.
Okay.
But it's really good. And every time I watch it, I think to myself, I'm like, that's the next show that they're going to bring to Broadway, right? Like, because that show, the music on that show was that movie was so popular, like so popular. Even I also saw something where it was like the top streamed things of 2022, and like Encanto blew everything else out of the water, like by like a lot.
Just people rewatching it. Yeah.
In 2022, still that popular. So like, I would be surprised if we don't see more in the parks. And also that show just that movie just lends itself to a Broadway show. Like, you could just see it happening, especially with the production value they put into this 45-minute, thing that they threw on Disney Plus. So
right.
Not really related, but yeah, check it out one of these days if you like Encanto. It's really, really good.
Okay. Yeah.
So anyway,
so back to Hercules. I know you were talking about how Frozen was in the Hyperion Theater, but before that was Aladdin in Hyperion, which that ran for a pretty long time. It was a fantastic show. So it's I can see Hercules being played out the same way. The interesting thing about these live stage shows, and particularly Aladdin, was that the genie in Aladdin got a lot of freedom because he could basically break the fourth wall whenever he wanted. Right.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So it made it that, going back and rewatching the show, and because like I'd seen it, and then I've seen various videos of it online where, Genie was making jokes along the way that were relevant at the time, or, he was commenting on, something that happened, whatever. So it kept the show interesting, and it kept, and that's where these stage shows get their longevity from, I feel, is that, if, especially for a Disney show, it's like, do you really want to not waste your time, but do you really want to use your time there sitting down to watch a stage show, right? Like that, it's a pretty big investment in time if you think about it. But the thing is that, something like Hercules, I feel, Hercules didn't do it quite to the same level that Aladdin did with fourth wall breaking, but I feel it has the same potential. Like the way that,
especially with like Hades, right?
Yeah.
Like Hades, looks at the camera
and the Fates. Yeah, it was the
Fates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they were kind of talking to the audience a lot of the times, right? So
yeah.
I feel like Hercules as a show would be great in the Hyperion Theater. Like it definitely lines up with how I feel the Hyperion's been successful in the past. So this is actually a rumor that I hope comes true. Like you said, reading through this, it seems like they're like a lot of the descriptions are kind of lining up for, this does seem like a Hercules type cast that they're leaning towards.
Well, yeah. So the first role, it says 3 female roles, 20s to 50s, proficient with harmonization, ability to sing many styles from Destiny's Child to Andrew Sisters. Performers are fun, energetic musical sisterhood that acts as an occasional Greek chorus. I mean, that feels like the Fates dead on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and then female, 20s to 30s, brave, resourceful, intelligent, must have strong English accent. I mean, Meg, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, young man coming into male 17 to 20, young man coming into his greatness. Hercules, of course, right?
Yeah.
So, male 30s to 40s, decisive, capable, principled, has a wry sense of humor, leads others with attitude and swagger. Hades, right? Mm-hmm. So, and then and this one is 20s to 30s, baritone tenor, noble, loyal, idealistic, romantic do-gooder who does not give up easily. Would that be like what's his name?
Are you thinking of Phil?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That to me more leans to older, because there's going to be like a younger Hercules and an older Hercules.
Oh yeah, right? Yeah. So you're saying that could be the older Hercules?
Yeah.
Okay, it could be. Yeah. I mean, because he's a do-gooder, doesn't give up. Yeah. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. So I mean, these do seem to fall into that. I don't know what else this would be, right? Like,
yeah, it totally. Yeah, like. Yeah, I would be really surprised if, like, after all these descriptions, and again, keep in mind that this is a rumor, but after all of this, that it was like it took a total left field and was like Encanto, right? Like,
yeah, right. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Okay, but I guess
how did that happen? Wait.
Disney's also good at lying about things, right?
That's true.
You know, they will misdirect.
Misdirection.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
This could have been bait for all we know.
I mean, it could have been. It just feels like the whole Greek chorus thing just makes it feel really obvious, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like even forget the rest of the roles. Just that first one just feels
Yeah.
very much. Yeah.
Greek. What other Greek chorus do you know of?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So
yeah.
All right. Well, shall we wrap this up?
Yeah. Let's call it there. It's getting late.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's getting late.
Yeah. All right. So as usual, if you guys want to reach out to us, you can always find us at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. Send us your trip reports, ask us questions. Just, we love hearing from you guys because it's nice to hear from our listeners. In the same vein, if you want to find us on social media, you can find us on Facebook as Welcome Home Podcast. You can also check out our Facebook group, Welcome Home Disney Waitlist, for a lot of great discussion. And you can get to know some of the other listeners that we do talk about on the show, people that put in great questions and some of our group experts and whatnot. So,
and the memes.
Yeah. The memes are always good in there. I love seeing that stuff, like, through the beginning of the week. It always, I will admit, sometimes I'll see a meme and I don't get it at first because I actually forget what we talked about. And it's like,
I do too.
What does this mean? And then I read it and then I'm like, oh, right, that part in the show. so I do appreciate it because it makes me laugh. The memes always make me laugh just because either it's something crazy or somebody listening to the show really gets the sense of humor. So
and they're very clever. They get very clever with some of these too.
Mm-hmm.
I also do want to acknowledge too, I've noticed a lot of people posting in the group lately that are not the standard people. Like seem to be a lot of newer people in the group that are starting to post a lot. And I do want to acknowledge, by the way, too, that Ivy has tried to get a question in the show 2 weeks in a row, and we have not read them. And it was nothing against your questions, Ivy. We just have not gotten to them. So I promise you we will get one of your questions on next week. So I just want to let you know that we appreciate all the questions, and anybody who posts a question, we do. Just because we don't do it doesn't mean we don't like the question. So don't give up on us.
Questions do actually get carried over sometimes because we can't answer all the questions and still do the rest of the episode. So
just wanted to put that out there because Ivy was adding those in and I appreciate it. So
yeah, exactly.
Continue. Sorry.
So outside of Facebook, you can also follow us on YouTube as Welcome Home Podcast and Instagram as Welcome Home Pics for any time we do live shows or go to the parks. And if you want to help support the show, you can go to store.welcomehomepodcast.com and check out our different merchandise that we have available. Lots of good stuff there. If you're looking for shirts for your next trip, those are always cool. We've had some of our listeners post pictures of them wearing their shirts in the parks, which, is still awesome to me that we've somehow had that happen. Like I can say that,
I know
people do that. So, if you want to support the show, that's always appreciated. In the same vein,
all of this is still very weird to all of us.
It is.
Just everyone know here, like the three of us, none of us have a big head about this thing. It's all very strange to us that a single person wants to listen to this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and in the same vein, we set up the Patreon for people to support the show as well, and you can go to patreon.com/welcomehomepod and check that out because we gave some exclusive merchandise to Patreon that you can't get on the regular store, and it'll also get you access to our Discord server, which is yet another place that we have some really great fans and we have some great discussions that go back and forth through the week. So. So please consider checking us out if that is interesting to you. And last but not least, if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, leave us that 5-star review that will help us, will help us get to more people. But I'm sure someone has left a review that you want to read, Tom, or there's.
I do. I have one. We've gotten a lot of reviews lately. It's a new year, new reviews.
Great.
So. We've got I actually have a couple. I have a couple that popped up here. So we've got Davey, and the title of this is UPSer fan. Okay. Just discovered the show and been listening to the back catalog, and I can say there's at least one UPS driver who listens to the show at work. So first of all, welcome. Thanks for listening, and thank you for leaving a review. And that's very cool. My uncle was a UPS driver, so I have a soft spot for UPS drivers. So so it's cool that you're out there delivering packages and listening to us. So thank you, Davey.
Yes.
And then I've got. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, just keep going. I'm actually I'm looking through these now as well. Wow, there's a lot.
I got my favorite DVC podcast from Normita. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is one of my favorite podcast groups. I've been listening for a while, and these guys are so entertaining and knowledgeable when it comes to DVC and Disney theme parks. I love when they get off topic and dream about what Disney will do next. Well, you're going to love this episode because we just went off the rails on this one.
Yep.
The thing that comes up with. The things they come up with is hilarious, and it makes me think, what if Disney implements one of their ideas? Could you imagine if any of the things we come up with here? Yeah, I mean, that would be ridiculous. So
yeah.
And then I guess the last one I'll do here too is Welcome Home Podcast Rocks by Mary and Chaz. Okay. These podcasts are fantastic. The guys tell it like it is always. I appreciate their honesty, insights, and humor. They know how to make all the listeners feel like like a part of one big Welcome Home podcast family. Each host brings their own special talents and views. Love it. I like that one a lot because we do try to make everybody feel like everybody that listens to this show a part of what we do. So, so this is great. I love all these recent reviews. So I don't love this 4-star review for no reason, but we talked about that one last week.
Yeah.
And as Damon said, that one is on me. Fine.
Yeah.
But anyway,
either 1 or 5. So here's a 4.
Just,
at least they didn't do a 3. I mean,
no, that's true.
Yeah.
Or a 2 even. Yeah. I could have done a 2, a 3, or 4, and you chose a 4, and I appreciate that. But I still wish it was a 5. But, anyway, thank you for the reviews. We really appreciate them. Please keep them coming. We will keep reading them if you keep putting them out there. Okay. Because we do like reading them. It does make us happy to see them. So, keep sending them in, and we will keep reading them. So, and then also don't forget to subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, just about any place you can find podcasts. You can find us. It's becoming now that everybody's listening to us on Spotify, which is a really interesting change. But definitely Spotify is becoming a huge place. So
because Spotify is the best.
Yeah, there you go.
It's my favorite platform.
We need to get them to sponsor us now. No, they don't want to do that. Yeah, we're not big enough for that. Just a reminder to our listeners, Welcome Home Podcast is for entertainment only. We are not employed by the Walt Disney Company. And as such, all opinions we express on the show are our own. So please consult a DVC representative or Disney cast member for more information about anything we talked about today. A huge thank you, as always, to DVC Resale Market and World of DVC for sponsoring this episode and for finally sending hats to Damon. Although the hats are with me, I have to get them to Damon. We are going to give Derek a hard time about this in the next few weeks when he's on the show. So please tune in for that because it's going to be fun.
Yep.
Join us. Yeah, it's going to be a good time, right? Join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion. Of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Do a huddle when we hit its hair. How she can cuddle is no man's affair. I looked around from pole to pole, found her in a sugar bowl.